Hello, Froggy here, and today we'll be taking a look at Kell's Fall. On my initial run through this on Warlock, I didn't really notice anything out of the ordinary. But then I checked the TWID, and if this is their #1 known issue, then surely there are holes somewhere. So I went back in with some buddies, and sure enough there were a few. The first one is right after you start getting a timer in the mirror dimension. Going backwards here since there's a mirror closer to the hole. And you can jump on up into here. I would recommend doing this with some buddies because you do have a limited amount of time. Just lining up some landmarks to be able to spot the way back in. Yeah, you can kind of see how things are connected a little bit. It's a lot of push barriers out of the map, so you'll have to stick close to the normal paths. If anyone goes too far forwards in the main mission, Hiraks will spawn and the mirror will disappear, so maybe try to avoid that. There's a bit of Solus in the distance. It's all like kind of same looking, but I did run into one little thing here. Some intangible ground. Doesn't lead anywhere, but it's still a thing. You may have noticed that my gun is a little weird looking. Get a buddy out here so we can see the lighting difference, but yeah, the lighting is really weird out here. You basically just have any elements that produce their own light, and of course if you have an emote that produces light. I'm gonna go res the artist formerly known as Elite. And see if we can get a better third-person look at what Guardians look like here. Yeah, you can see it's like almost completely dark. There is one other oddity here, and that's that you can get rid of the timer. So if you respawn high enough, you'll be outside of the area that assigns the timer to you. So you can see I don't have a timer at all. This doesn't really give you any benefits, since as soon as you go low enough, you'll get the timer back. I haven't tried blinking through to see if that does something different. Yeah, you can see the very weird no light Guardian effects here. But yeah, even if you can, it doesn't accomplish too much. The second hole is all the way at the end. You can see that we got a little throne room there, and also a bit of Fikrul, but we don't need to deal with either of those. Just gonna head out to the right side here, and behind this bit of metal. And there's a nice little hole here, hidden from view. I'm still not convinced they don't just add a hole here and there on purpose, just to give us some fun. You don't want to go down those stairs because you'll hit the kill barrier. There's a fun little box there. You can jump over to it as long as you don't go too low. It's kind of weird. It's just chilling under the map here. And we can actually make our way a fair bit back. There's a little bit of ground you can land on to reset your jump, and then you need to go some distance out to get out from underneath the terrain floor. It's invisible from below, so it can be a bit annoying to catch the lip. And now we're going to head up and over. You don't need Navigator for this, it just preserves my grapple. And see, I didn't need to use a second one. And this will let us get back some of the way. There is a limit to, nice tangled shore sky pieces. There is a limit to how far I've been able to make it back in this direction, at least using this method. There's also a lot of push barriers and a lot of ways to get stuck. Kind of looks like a load zone there to the left. But anyways, if you jump down this and go all the way, you kind of get stuck in some rocks. So I would recommend just flying around pretty much the entirety of this bit to get back to the previous area. And here we go. This is pretty much as far as I was able to get. Out of map here is just a mess of push barriers. You might be able to get a bit further. I haven't spent too much time on it, especially if you were to bring a hunter here with Storm's Edge. Imagine the other bits are connected through different sort of boxed areas. It's very red here, but there are some areas where you will get a brief glimpse of blue. I think there's one right about here, trying to hit it at the right angle. Yeah, the asteroids you see in the distance are all, like, flat images. Back when we had the tangled shore, you could box break and go take a look at them. There we go, got a little flash of blue going now. I just back up and walk into the push barrier. So that's kind of neat. Anyways, if we want to go back to the beginning, we're going to need to do something a little different. We'll be using some fallback points. Unfortunately, there's a long timer and a darkness zone, so you'll need an ally to place stasis crystals for you. But once you've got the first fallback out of the way, you can do the rest of it on your own. We're back at that area with one of those secret doors. And we can head on back. Gonna go ahead and try to keep in the air so that I can get the default spawn here. Let's see where that puts us. Alright. And another fallback. Oh, this is these crystals are bouncing back. Hopefully I managed to cover enough. Alright. Now, I have only done this a couple times, so I'm not actually sure which direction is backwards. I get all turned around in these rooms, and I think backwards is not the way I'm going right now. Oh, is that it to the top right? Yeah, I remember that is. That's the way I went the first time I did the mission, just jumping all around the bits of geometry there. Of course, I've used my grapple. Maybe I can just jump for it. Ah, nice, that counts as a ledge. But yeah, there's a total of 3 zones in this area. And this should take us back to the first zone. You do a lot of mirror transitions to get through that, so we aren't going to be able to just walk on back to the beginning. But we can do the fallback. Just going to get the default spawn. And take a few feet away, as long as you don't go more than, I said 9 meters, you won't set a spawn point. And with any luck, this will put us back at the very beginning, with weapons enabled. Of course, not too much to do with them, but we did make it all the way back. I guess this isn't very different from the way the mission would normally start. Just less enemies that you can't shoot. Unfortunately, the door up here is closed, so we can't go mess with the organ. At least, not this way. If you were to do that fallback on a hunter, you could actually get through the grating here. You could also use the sides, but I think the top probably works a bit better. Keep in mind that at short range, this super pulls to the right. So you're going to want to aim a bit to the left and hit the top lip. And that'll get you straight through. But sadly, the organ is not enabled at this point. So you're going to have to just start from the beginning if you want to play around with it. Anyways, hope you have fun with this exotic mission, and I'll see you next time.